Namaste all. I'm Yug, I'm 13 years old, and I live in the US. And this story that you're listening to right now is just one of the many stories that I've told in my collection of Hindu Itihas stories. And without further ado, let's start the story. So today I'm going to be telling you the story of Sudama. Now, Sudama, or S, studied with Krishna in a Gurukul. Now, Gurukul is pretty much just a school. So, what people used to do all the way back then was when you reach a certain age, they would send you to a rishi or a teacher in order to teach you for about the next 15 years or so. And from that age all the way until age 18 or so, they would send you back. So you would just be staying with that teacher for 13 years almost. And there wasn't any summer break or anything. You wouldn't have anything like that. Just the entire time, you would just be studying, and more studying. And the person who taught Sudama and Krishnaji, so S and Krishnaji, or K, became really good friends because they stayed together for so long. And their teacher was Guru Samdipani, and he was a very great teacher, as you can see with Krishnaji being so learned. And you could say that he was already learned previously because he is the incarnation of Vishnu, who is one of the three great gods, and he is the god of sustenance or restoring peace to the world. And eventually, the time came for S and K to leave Guru Sandipani. And Guru Sandipani was like, hey, you guys have been my best students. Thank you so much for letting me teach you. And he gave them a boon, or he blessed them, saying, you guys will never lose your knowledge of the Vedas in this birth or the next. So, in Hinduism, there's this, when you die, we Hindus think that you reincarnate or you rebirth as another object, or normally a human. And your soul, when you die, will leave your body and it just roams around the earth into another body, typically a human's. And this never-ending cycle will continue of birth, death, and rebirth will continue forever until you attain moksha, which pretty much means salvation, or the ultimate goal of life. And if you want to attain moksha, you just need to be a very good person and do very selfless actions, or not be very selfish, do many good deeds such as doing community service, or seva, which means service that is not done for personal gain, but in order to help others. And eventually, Guru Sandipani and SNK both left each other. And Krishnaji, he became the king of Dwarka, which is a very prosperous kingdom. And Sudama became a humble Brahmin, and he did not care for worldly pleasures at all. He was a very good Brahmin, and he was able to control his senses well, and he became quite poor because of this as well. And his wife, who was also another Brahmin girl, they both lived in poverty, and eventually Sudama had 2 children. But the problem is, S was so poor that his children weren't able to eat. They weren't able to get good clothes. They didn't have a good bed. They just used to sleep on the ground, and they wouldn't have these special luxuries or anything. And Sudama has often told his wife about Krishnaji. And eventually, his wife told him, saying, hey, we are too poor. I want you to gain some wealth for me. I cannot stand to see my sons like this because they're suffering because they don't have enough food to eat. I don't like this. Go and for the sake of our children, please try and see if you can attempt to do something with Krishna ji. Just at least talk to him. Maybe even ask for Bhakt or something like that. And Sudama, he's like, okay, yeah, fine. I'll meet with him. Although I'm not even sure that he'll recognize me. He probably doesn't even know who I am at this point. He probably just forgot me. It wasn't even that long of a time. But Sudama still remembered every single part of Krishna. And he even remembered his favorite gift or food. And Sudama, he's like, hey, if I'm gonna go to Krishna ji, let me at least give him a gift. Because he is a king and I'm just a Brahmin. And the least I can do is I can at least give him some sort of gift. So he gave him poha. Now, poha or poha is pretty much just flattened rice. It's very yummy. You can normally eat it as breakfast. And this was Krishnaji's favorite food. And Sudama, luckily he had some poha. And he took in a little bag and he walked a long, long walk to Dwarka. And he just went straight through the gate. He went through every single room trying to find Krishnaji. And nobody else opposed him. They're like, hey, he's just a humble Brahmin. He's probably just looking for Krishnaji or something. He probably is a relation of Krishnaji. And the guards were not wrong. And eventually, Sudama found the correct room where Krishnaji was just lounging around with his wife, or one of his wives, because he gained a lot of wives. And if you want to know how, you can check out the story of Narakasur, because Narakasur had a very huge shock of capturing women, and he eventually had 16,100 of them, and Krishnaji became all of their husbands. And he has over 16,100 wives. And Sudama, eventually, they both made some small talk. He's like, oh my god, wait, it's been so long. And Sudama was actually really surprised. He's like, oh my god, Krishnaji instantly remembered me. And Krishnaji was like, oh my god, it's been so long. Come, let me wash your feet. He treated him as a guest. And in Hinduism, you're supposed to treat your guest as if he were God himself. And Krishnaji, he really wanted to uphold this standard. So he lavishly treated Sudama and he washed his feet. He fed him amazing fruits, vegetables, nuts, anything. And they made some small talk with each other. And eventually, Sudama was like, okay, yeah, let me get to the point. Here's a bag of poha. And Krishnaji was like, whoa, you still remembered my favorite food. And Krishnaji was really touched by this. And Krishnaji was like, oh my god. He was overwhelmed by Sudama's act of kindness. And eventually, Sudama gave the poha to Krishnaji, and Krishnaji started eating almost all of it until his wife said, hey, no, that's too much for you. Come, chill out. That's way too much. And Krishnaji was about to finish it then and there until his wife stopped him. And Sudama didn't have any bad intentions. He just wanted to just catch up with his friend. And he had good intentions. And they just had some more small talk, and Krishnaji treated him even more lavishly by putting him on a luxurious bed. And eventually, after a few hours, Sudama said, hey, I have to leave. And Krishnaji was like, okay, yes, fine. And Sudama began the insanely long walk all the way back home. And he originally just used to live in a small mud hut. And the moment he came to where his hut was originally standing, there was a gigantic golden palace just standing there. And he's like, what? What is all of this? Is this mine? Where's my hut? Where's my children? Where's everything? And he saw so many people just walking around the palace. And eventually his wife and kids came out and he's like, I take it that your talk with Krishnaji has went well because he has blessed us with this gigantic house and palace. And Sudama was like, no, I didn't ask him for anything. And then Sudama understood that Krishnaji gave this to me because I had good intentions. I had nothing but love as a friend for Krishnaji. And he has rewarded me like this. And that's the story of Sudama. I didn't like this story because it shows that if you have pure intentions, then any goal that you achieve or try to set your mind to will come true. I know that sounds like a very huge Disney theme, but they're not wrong. And as you can see in this story, Sudama's goal was to gain at least a bit of wealth in order to feed his kids. And Krishnaji, even though Sudama had this goal, he didn't have any bad intentions towards Krishnaji, and Krishnaji fulfilled this wish for Sudama. I also did like that the story has a lot of themes, such as think of a friendship as nothing else but a friendship, because some people may even exploit friendships, but Sudama didn't, and that could also be a reason that Krishnaji said okay. And that's the story of Sudama, and Namaste.